whole situation over 28 years, and as you heard, starting before that, in 1968, when Mumia was already targeted and harassed and observed, this case has been going on for more than 40 years. And you can't, you could spend a lifetime. Lynn knows so much about this case. He can go on for hours and hours and hours talking about all the violations involved in this case, from before Mumia's trial, from while he was a journalist, and then every single aspect of this case. And back in, during this 90s, during the 90s when the case was still in state court, people kept saying, naively, when we go to federal court, it's going to be different. How many people remember that? Okay? When we go to federal court, there's no way they're going to allow what Sabo did to stand. There's no way that if the newspapers in Philadelphia are saying Sabo must go, that the federal courts are going to accept his decisions. Well, now we're at the end of the road with the federal court. And what has happened? They've accepted every single decision. For a minute, when Judge Yon decided that Mumia would have life in prison without parole as compared to execution, that was the one concession that was made by them. And then the second minor concessions, I guess, which could have been major, was that the issue of racial bias and jury selection, the so-called Batson issue, could be investigated and explored further, and if affirmed that it was relevant, Mumia would get a new trial. Well, we've gone through all of that, and Lynn has explained over and over and over again how the judges broke all the rules. We're not talking about just prosecutorial, police misconduct. We're talking about the judges, and not just the crazy judges in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, but the judges in the Yale graduates, the Harvard graduates, Harvard Law School graduates, the United States Supreme Court, they've all said, this is okay. So what do we conclude? That the legal system offers nothing, no justice. And even though we continue to go in the streets, we continue to demonstrate, we continue to have teach-ins, we continue to have events like this, we do everything under the sun, we now are an aggressive campaign to say no to the legal system. We don't accept your decision. In no way are we going to go along with the system, and we're coming in and demanding a complete review of that legal process. So for all those who think they were going hat in hand to Eric Holder and President Obama and saying, we now have two black people in office who have histories of being liberals, and we are now going to turn to you and hope that you'll understand that we've been wrong, that Mumia has been profoundly wrong, and we know you'll be stepping up to the plate and absolutely ecstatic that we're asking for a civil rights investigation. No. We have seen that they're all running scared. We've gone to the Congressional Black Caucus and only under the threat of embarrassment got one congressman in New York, Congressman Charles Rangel, who was in danger of being indicted, who was in serious legal trouble, and we were right in front of his office at the Harlem State Office Building, and said that if he signed it, we would announce it, and if he didn't sign it, we would announce it. He signed it 10 minutes before the rally in New York. And guess what? Since then, none of the other Congressional Black Caucus members have signed the civil rights letter, petition letter that's on that table that I hope all of you have either signed or will sign together. So now these people back in '95 signed a letter saying that Mumia was probably innocent. They signed a letter asking for civil rights investigation, asking for a new trial, a civil rights investigation. So why are they running more scared now? My guess, and this is again my personal opinion, that the whole process of being in cahoots with Obama and Holder and all that is actually making it harder for them to fight what's going on. That's my guess. But are we going to let them get away with that? No way. We've got to go back to the Congressional Black Caucus and embarrass them enough and pressure enough so that they come out with a strong statement on this. We went to the NAACP. We were there for a whole week. We would have people outside, inside. We met with them. They said, oh yes, we completely support it. Have they done anything since? Have they gotten us a meeting with Eric Holder, which is what we want? No. We have to go back to the NAACP and make them do what's right and embarrass them sufficiently. You took this, you made the statement, what have you done? We went, what was the next thing we did? Congressional Black Caucus, NAACP. We went to Washington. We went to Washington on November 12th. We delivered thousands and thousands of letters. We had Amnesty International with us, the president of the Baltimore NAACP. We definitely had a presence, but we have not yet asked for a direct meeting with Holder, or more important, the head of the Civil Rights Division, a man named Perez. So they saw us, they've heard us, and we're now asking people, you see on the petition, not only to sign the petitions either online or in hard copy, so that when we go to the Justice Department, we bring these boxes of letters. So even the online is convenient. It's also wonderful to come with these boxes to the Justice Department. To the Justice Department to demand a meeting, and we need some heavyweights. That this is not a legal accident. This is not one or two errors in the courts. This is not a mistake. This is not an incompetent judge. This is an entire system, and if you'll forgive the expression, in conspiracy to execute, to murder another great black leader. Have we seen that before? Have we not commemorated Fred Hampton's assassination and Malcolm's assassination and King's assassination? Well, Mumia was obviously recognized as a brilliant thinker, writer, and charismatic person. It would not be hard to imagine that lots and lots of people wanted to get rid of him early in the game, and the more he's around, the more they want to get rid of him. Because so that when we go to the Justice Department, we bring these boxes of letters. So even the online is convenient. It's also wonderful to come with these boxes to the Justice Department. And again, we have wonderful, if you look at our website, freemumia.com, you'll see some wonderful footage of that delivery with Ori Lumumba at the end giving a wonderful speech about why we're there. So our plan is to go back to the Justice Department to demand a meeting, and we need some heavyweights to go with us. Unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation. So we have, in a minute, you'll hear the international, Coley Clark, would you step up, please? Coley's going to be talking about the international support, and Lawrence Hayes is going to be talking about how we now have escalated in terms of demanding this investigation, that it really go back to 1968, the original targeting of Mumia, and bring into the picture that this is not a legal accident, this is not one or two errors in the courts, this is not a mistake, this is not an incompetent judge, this is an entire system. And if you'll forgive the expression, in conspiracy to execute, to murder another great black leader. Have we seen that before? Have we not commemorated Fred Hampton's assassination and Malcolm's assassination and King's assassination? Well, Mumia was obviously recognized as a brilliant thinker, writer, and charismatic person. It would not be hard to imagine that lots and lots of people wanted to get rid of him early in the game, and the more he's around, the more they want to get rid of him, because Mumia has never stopped. So this is not a legalistic campaign we're fighting. This is a militant struggle to force this system to do something that's right when it is absolutely determined to do everything that's wrong.